This guy is nuts. Is he really making daily recordings of his possible divorce and releasing it as a podcast? They both cheated on each other? She's making 6 figures and still doesn't contribute to any joint endeavors financially? Why is she still with him? Why is he still with her? I can't wait for the next episode. This helps me be a better wife. So this is how men think. I hate my husband less now. I understand my wife more now. These are some of the listener comments to the Divorce Diaries podcast. All over the map, I know. These anonymous accounts of events should resonate with anyone that has been married, is married, or is preparing for marriage, and helps couples avoid pitfalls as they might prepare for marriage. Entire seasons are released on Patreon weeks before anywhere else. At Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Link in description. Now for today's episode.
Ooh, my insecurities were on full display. I couldn't help my former self from coming through. I was spending time with my wife, and we were not intimate. And we are headed for divorce. I mean, it's pretty much 100% guaranteed we're going to get a divorce. But even with what I just said, we're pretty much 100% guaranteed to get a divorce. Pretty much 100%. But I can say clearly that I still don't want to get a divorce. This is in the basket of things labeled, I didn't do this to do that. In this case, I didn't get married to get a divorce. So, in a perfect world, if I could wave a magic wand and my wife would do all of those things that I wanted her to do, which probably would first start with me doing all the things that she wants me to do, and then she would maybe respond with the things that I want her to do, which, whatever. Once you get to a place where you want a divorce, sometimes things have gone too far for too long. And even if I were to do 100% of the things that my wife may want me to do, she still may not be willing to, because I believe fully that the respect has been lost. I believe that my wife doesn't respect me and probably hasn't for a great many years in our marriage, which is probably why so many toxic things happened between us. And I probably felt that energy. And after realizing that love, I could actually take it or leave it in any relationship, I just really, really would like respect more than anything. In fact, I will say it differently. I need respect. I don't need your love. I need your respect. I need you to give me the attaboys that feel good. I need you to not disparage me. I need you to not publicly humiliate me. I need you to not talk about me behind my back. I need you to whatever. I don't know. Whatever respect is, I need that. And I'm not saying I did or didn't get those things. I'm just saying I now understand that I need respect above all. Now, here's my insecurity that was on full display. I spent time with my wife, and we didn't have, we were feeling probably, both of us were feeling like there was a natural transition to some intimacy between us. And my wife put a stop to that. And maybe rightfully so, but she put a stop to that. I don't really want to do that. And after so many things that have happened, I don't really trust you. And I don't really feel super comfortable, and I don't really feel attracted because of the ways that I feel you've hurt me. I don't find this attractive. This is something that I want to do, and it's not arousing for me. So immediately I feel rejection. I feel the same rejection I felt in other parts of my marriage. My wife and I were together and living together. Whenever a husband makes an advance toward his wife, even if it's done the right way with intimacy and romance and all the other stuff, it's not just let's get to it. It's very thoughtful and caring and considerate. And you, at least in your eyes, it is. But in her eyes, maybe she did have a long day. She had a long day with the kids. She had a long day at work. She had some frustrations. She's tired. Her feet hurt. Her back hurt. I don't know, whatever. But she doesn't want to do it for whatever reason. That still doesn't stop you as a husband from feeling rejected when you're pushed away by your wife. And it's, to be fair, and I'd like to just open the can of worms to a man's heart and let the world understand what's happening. There aren't very many super intimate things that can happen between two people. Helping them grieve might be one of them. In their old age or in a disabled state, doing something like wiping their ass. Like, I would say cleaning up throw up, but when you think about it, like wiping someone's ass, that's a really big deal. And getting your ass wiped by someone, it's very intimate, but it's clinical when a nurse does it for you, because there's sort of an understanding. You know that she's being paid or he's being paid to do this. They know that they're being paid to do this. They get to clock out or whatever. But if it's a romantic relationship and it's a familial relationship outside of a parent and an infant, where the infant doesn't even know that they have an ass, let alone it's being wiped, the wiping of an ass is very intimate. And as a man, declaring that you want sex to your wife is probably one of the most vulnerable positions a man can put himself in, because it comes tethered to other things. Declaring and showing that you want sex from your wife and intimacy, you are going back to the trough of vows that you made with your wife. And that trough is, I will forsake all others. And now you're coming to that trough to drink. Hey, I would love to be intimate with you. And like, I would love it. And when she says like, no, or not right now, all you feel is, oh, you wouldn't? You don't want to? I want to make love to you, my precious, precious flower. Even if you want to get raunchy with it, I want to, girl, come here, my precious flower. I'm going to treat you gently in a way that we are both going to feel really good. And she's like, no. You're like, really? Like, wow, that makes me feel bad because I got rejected. And we go back to a place where we were maybe rejected by so many different girls over the course of our lives, because let's face it, men are sort of hunters. We go out and we try to meet and get with women. And with the way that things sort of shake out, this woman is the woman that said, I will not reject you. I'll be your girlfriend. I will not reject you. I will now be your wife. And you're like, wow, great. You're going to be my wife. That means we're going to do things together often. And maybe you do for a while and then maybe it stops. It can stop for many reasons. I don't want to get into those reasons. I'm just trying to talk about what a man feels when he's rejected. And I felt that again. And I felt a lot of other things like, God, why did you forget? Don't you remember? Every time things seem like they're going well, and you feel like you've read the room the right way. You feel like she's wanting it just as much as you're wanting it. And you got rejected again. Aren't you sick of getting rejected like this? And I just feel my heart being torn out. But then the reality sets in and I'm like, we're married legally, yes, but we're not a couple anymore. We're not together anymore. We don't live together. We're having a very, very difficult time doing anything remotely close to co-parenting. Nothing is going well. This is a shit show, let alone a marriage of any kind. It's an absolute shit show. So, let's not get too upset, but at the same time, it was too late. I was already into my feelings. It was already a wrap. I was already feeling bad. I was feeling rejected, and my ego was on full display. And she called me because we left my place around the same time and we were on the road together. And it was raining, and she calls, and I say, like a fucking child, I'm like, hello. I'm basically pouting. I'm doing a mental pout. And then I'm trying to make sure that she knows I'm doing a mental pout. And I'm just like, hey, what's up? Whatever. I'm just so deep into my feelings. It's just fucking pitiful. Honestly, it's fucking pitiful how deep into my feelings I am. And, but now I have been getting better at figuring out all the bullshit that I'm doing. And within like 10 minutes, because she even calls me back. She calls me back and she's lets me know because it's raining cats and dogs when we leave. And she says, yeah, you don't have, your windshield wipers aren't on. Because she can see my car. I'm like, oh, windshield wipers aren't on. Thanks. Whatever I say. Thanks. With a pissy attitude. She called me 2 times to tell me that. 2. One time she wanted to check to see if I was okay, I think. I think that's what the first one was about. And then she wanted to make sure that I was okay and I had my windshield wipers on. No one in this fucking world pretty much cares about me from moment to moment, from day to day. No one does. No one shows me any care or concern except my wife. No one. And what did I do to show my gratitude? I bitched at her. I complained. I pouted. And I acted like I was butthurt over some bullshit. Over something that didn't happen, instead of being thankful that somebody was calling to check on me. Now, I did fix it. A little bit. But the damage was already done. Like, I called her back. And I said, I'm sorry for acting the way that I acted. I appreciate you calling me. And I had to think to myself and say to myself, like, just because we're getting a fucking divorce and I don't want to. I mean, I know we may need to, but just because we're getting a divorce and I don't want to, doesn't mean I have to treat her like shit. Doesn't mean I have to get mad at her. Doesn't mean I have to be a fucking child when she reaches out and makes herself vulnerable with me. Just like the rejection that I feel and felt when she wouldn't be, quote unquote, wouldn't be intimate. I'm sure on some level, she felt and feels that same rejection when I just kind of, I mean, you're showing me concern. What do I care? You could do better. I feel good about this concern you're showing had we been intimate earlier. We men can be really fucking childish. And I'm not trying to go on some please woman crusade right now with the shit that I'm saying. I'm just saying, honestly, this is the Divorce Diaries. This is what I record, and I record my honest truth. And right now, the truth I'm feeling and the truth that I know is that I can be a crybaby sometimes. I can be really fucking sensitive. And I could just take it too far. And that day I did. My insecurity was on full display.
Wow, that was the Divorce Diaries podcast. The daily saga will continue tomorrow. The full season's episodes are on Patreon now. Subscribe for early access. Click the Patreon link in the description. Hopefully these entries help our anonymous recorder as a form of his own personal therapy. That's his hope and his intention. Will these recordings of life's curveballs lead this family to the best resolution in the end? We'll keep listening. New episodes are released daily on all podcast players, but all episodes are available on Patreon at Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Until next time.